Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter's father we are not a family? Plus updates. Original post. I, 33 female, am a single mother to a 6-year-old girl. I've raised my daughter all on my own. She was born from a one-night stand with a now former friend, 37 male. We never got together, and he refused to be involved in my pregnancy or my daughter's first 4 years of life. I was stressed out emotionally because it's a big change, but I never asked for child support or force him to be involved. I have enough income to send my daughter to private school. I'm perfectly fine on my own. The issue started when he reappeared from wherever he went and decided he wanted visitation. He's not in my daughter's birth certificate. Father is listed as unknown. He wanted to have that amended. I said no, and that if he wants, best he'll get us to meet her in outings with myself or my daughter's godparents. He agreed, but he's been constantly pressuring getting parental rights. Court already gave him a big fat no unless he pays 4 years of child support, which with his income goes somewhere around $230,000 US. He hasn't paid a cent. My daughter doesn't even call him dad or recognize him as dad. She calls him Mr. I keep it very clean. I never bad talked him, never made up stories. Even during court, the assigned CPS agent testified that my daughter had no affection or clear relationship with her biological father. Now, the main issue happened in a PTA meeting. He would say things like, "My family thinks," or "what is best for my family." I didn't agree with him and voiced by saying my daughter has different needs and those are priority. He was clearly angry. After the meeting, there was a moment for teachers and parents to mingle and just talk how the kids are doing. One of the teachers approached me to apologize, saying she didn't know my husband and I didn't like a project she was doing with the kids. I told her I had no husband, and my daughter loved the project and wants to be part of it. The teacher then told me that my former friend was going around talking like he's my husband, and he represents the family. I saw red. I walked to him and very loudly told him we needed to talk in private. In a parking lot, I told him we were not a family, and that he either will respect I'm the only one that can make decisions on my daughter's education, or he won't be involved. He went on about being her biological father, so I reminded him he had not paid a cent for the pregnancy, my daughter's needs, or even the private school my daughter is in. He hasn't tried to see my daughter since, which she doesn't mind at all. I asked her, I do feel a bit bad about what I said. Am I the a-hole? I wanted to add this because the PMs are driving me insane. He has the money to pay child support. He chose not to pay. He was never prohibited from being involved. He had my phone number. I sent him a picture and invited him to birthdays and other big celebrations. He never came. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Why is he in a PTA meeting with you? Have you told the school that he can't pick her up? Not the a-hole. He decided to leave and did not support you during the pregnancy or the first 4 years of her life. He is not a parent. He might be the father in the sense that he is the bio parent, but he's not a father to your daughter. He actually forced himself into the meeting. I wanted to give it a chance for him to be involved. I didn't expect him to act this way though. And how exactly did he know time/place? The school has a public schedule in his website. He knows the school she attends. And with him not even being on the birth certificate, why didn't you just tell anyone, admin, teacher, etc., that he had no legal relationship with your child? Why didn't the teachers ask? How did the teachers not know he wasn't your husband? A private school has much fewer students. Haven't you met and talked to your kid's teacher? So many questions. To be fair, I've kept my family situation very private. It's not well seeing where I live to be a single mother. Most people assume I'm either a widow or my husband is overseas. Admin knew, but I had no real time to correct him. Plus, I didn't want to make too big a scene. It's why I took it to the parking lot. Next time, make a scene. I'd also inform the school, teachers, admins, even the school board and other parents. It happens way too often still in this day and age that a mommy or a daddy who isn't in the picture or who doesn't have custody visitation rights to see the child by themselves pick kids up from their school, and no one at the school was ever informed that these troubles exist. Now for the first update. I, 33 female, going to preface this by saying my 6-year-old's daughter's father, 37 male, I'm going to call him Jeff, has never been my romantic partner. We had a one-night stand. I don't like people calling him my ex, since it makes it seem we had some kind of emotional attachment. He was never involved after I told him I was pregnant and actually wanted me to terminate the pregnancy. But I decided to raise my child alone, since I have enough money to raise her without child support. For the whole pregnancy and the first 4 years, Jeff was not in the picture. On my mother's recommendation, I did send him pictures and invited him to special events, but he always replied he had no interest in my daughter. 2 years ago, he reappeared and began demanding parental rights. When I didn't do what he wanted, he sued and was told no, he was not getting parental rights. He was given the offer to pay child support and then we can revisit giving him actual rights, but he has refused. He has the money, much more than me, but he refuses. I still offered to let him see my daughter in a casual manner. No child support needed, with the agreement that anything legal, medical, or educational will not involve him. He pushed the boundaries and we had a fallout. After that, we didn't hear from him for almost 6 weeks before he called to meet for Christmas. After much discussion, I agreed to bring my daughter over, on the condition my daughter's godparents could come. Thus, we went over for Christmas dinner. And finding out Jeff is married and had never told his family he had a child. It was great to be judged by a bunch of strangers. It was uncomfortable the whole time. I'm going to use fake names, but let's say my daughter's name is Katie. His wife kept calling my daughter Gabrielle. Not the actual name she used, but it was that different to my daughter's name. The wife was also very physical, trying to pick up my daughter or parent her. I would block her or tell her to please let me deal with my child. The whole time, she pretty much ignored me, but Katie didn't seem nervous, so I decided to just bid my time. I hit my limit when my daughter said she needed a bathroom, and the stranger went, "Oh, Gabby, you need potty? Let mommy change you." My daughter hasn't worn diapers in a while now, and she's more than capable of going alone to the bathroom. I immediately told her to stay away from my daughter, and that we were leaving. The woman started wailing that I was kidnapping her baby girl, and tried to lunge at me. Her in-laws got to the middle and held her, consoling her, and saying that we weren't leaving and for her to calm down like she was the victim. At that point, I just glared at Jeff and told him he better explain or I would be calling the police. He asked me to speak in private in another room and that I could just leave my daughter with his parents. No way that would ever happen. Katie's godparents took her with them despite the wife having a full meltdown. Jeff and I spoke outside, and he explained that he and his wife recently lost a daughter. I'm not going to give specific details on that. All I'll say is it was sudden and nobody's fault. And as I can only imagine, it had caused some psychological issues to his wife. Apparently, he had a brilliant idea that having Katie passed as their lost child would help his wife, without telling me. And that's why he wanted visitations and parental rights. He pleaded for me to leave my daughter with him for a little bit. But I asked him what was his plan when his wife heals. His response was disgusting. "Well, I'll just send Katie back with you and it will be just like before." I told him he was insane if he thought I would let him use my daughter like that. What his wife needs is therapy with a professional, not feeding her delusions. And I would not let that woman within miles from my daughter. He told me I was being cruel and didn't know the pain of losing a child. I agreed with him, but reminded Jeff that my priority is not his family. It's my child. What he and his family do to work through their grief has nothing to do with us. I also told him to call his lawyer because I'm making sure he never has contact with my child. So that's what I'm bracing for. He's been blasting my phone since Christmas, but I can easily ignore him. My daughter and I are doing a small travel vacation. You should probably get a restraining order, since I can definitely see him, his wife, or other family members trying to kidnap your daughter. I would show pictures to her school and other caretakers and let them know the situation. Your daughter's sperm donor is dealing with some grief issues of his own, and like his wife, has gone off the deep end. You need to get protection in place ASAP, since most children are kidnapped by family. We're planning for my daughter to stay for a little with her godparents. They can drop her and pick her at school while I'll deal with the legal stuff. Absolutely going for a restraining order. Any chance he's dumb enough to text you any of the things he said? Would be nice to have a paper trail for the courts, instead of just your word versus his. Oh, he has texted some stuff. Not his whole brilliant idea, but enough to be creepy. Doesn't help he doesn't use my daughter's name, but the name his wife was using. Sounds like they live in Delulu land. You are 100% right to set these boundaries. Just do yourself a favor and make sure your lawyer knows what's up next week and be prepared to get that order of protection ready. I found out on the 26th. I sent him an email and he called me in minutes after. Careful they don't try to kidnap her from daycare or school or something. Edit. Just something I feel needs to be said. My daughter is set for life monetarily. She has a trust that I make really good money in my position. If she was 18 right now, I could put her through college without a loan. She doesn't need child support for quality of life. If I could get child support to never worry about her father trying something, I would be suing him in a heartbeat. But after talking to a lawyer and realizing the risk, I've taken the decision that child support or possible inheritance is not worth my child's safety. Safety is always first. January 6, 2024. Hey everyone, Happy New Year's! This isn't so much a real update as just letting people know we are home and safe. My daughter is spending the rest of her vacation with her godparents on another trip while I work on things. Moving might be something I'll be looking into, though that is a long-term plan considering all it takes. I won't share too many details on what my lawyer is going to be doing, but we are absolutely going to push for a restraining order. I might not post for some time, at least not until things settled. I do appreciate all the support and good advice. I'm taking a lot of it into account as I plan how to move forward. Now for the second update. Hey everyone, I decided to post a last update since I will be going full silent for a long period. For those that didn't know, I'm right now dealing with my daughter's father and his delusions. He wants to use my daughter as a therapy doll for his wife that recently lost a child. A lot of people were worried for my daughter and me, and I truly appreciate it. We're both safe. She's currently having a great vacation with her godparents, and I'm currently making my own arrangements to move on. My lawyer is working hard in keeping everything in order. I know a cease and desist was his first action, and we are going for no contact. He says we have a solid case, and hopefully this will be resolved relatively fast. And by that, I mean a year or two. We did get a temporary restraining order. It's only until our first court date, but after, it could be extended. I haven't had direct contact with Jeff. He lawyered up too and tried to send a threat to take full custody. My lawyer laughed at it, since his reasoning was parental alienation. Except I have proof I tried for years to have him involved. Apparently, turning in a few emails showing my attempts was enough to get them to change parental alienation to a different reasoning. My lawyer is not worried in all honesty. For now, I've decided after much thinking that moving is going to be necessary. It won't be something I can do on a whim, but I'll be looking into new houses within the month to hopefully move sometime this year. School will remain the same, but we will be speaking to the admin to make sure only certain people can pick her up. And part of that decision has been to hire a private driver. He's someone I absolutely trust and has worked for relatives in the past, so I'm very comfortable with the idea, and so is my daughter. Now I just have to make sure they don't go for fast food every day after school. Things in all honesty are not that scary right now. I have a good lawyer, good evidence, and my little girl is happy and healthy, so I'm just going to focus on working things little by little. Because of the legal proceedings, I don't think I'll be posting any updates anytime soon. And to those sending me PMs telling me I'm horrible for keeping my daughter from her father, or telling me I shouldn't have had her in the first place, please kindly speak to the void. I'm too busy. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my dad's wife with her baby and saying I am not her helper? Dad and I, 17 male, do not have a good relationship. When my mom was sick with cancer, my dad was out cheating on her, and he left me to take care of my younger siblings, 12 female and 11 male. He even let me catch him with 2 different women during that time, and my mom was in hospice, so it was really difficult not to say anything. But I was so overwhelmed and scared that saying the wrong thing would take her from us sooner. This was 4 years ago, and I never forgave him for what he put me through. I told him before that I never want to be like him when I grow up, and he is no role model for me. I also called him a failure as a husband and a father. He was mad at being called a failure as a father. But when his 3 kids needed him the most, he wasn't there. Instead, he was screwing women on the side. He also said he loved my mom and never wanted me to say he was all bad as her husband. I said I found it so hard to believe, and he would never convince me he actually loved her. I was still mostly in charge after mom died, But eventually, my siblings started to pick up some skills, so I wasn't basically doing it all. It really helped and made us regular siblings again, instead of me being almost a dad. But it was also tough, because they're really young, and I hated that they were forced to grow up so fast. Losing mom did that anyway. Dad met someone a couple of years ago, and he introduced her to us last year, and it took only a few weeks for her to move in. Then suddenly, she's pregnant, and they raced to get married. My dad's wife tried to involve my siblings and me in her pregnancy excitement, but I wasn't excited, and I don't think they were either. I'm pretty sure we all avoided her as much as we could. The baby was born in December, and she has been reaching out to me to help pretty often. But I don't help her. I check in on my siblings where I can, but other than that, I focus on me. I know biologically that baby is my half-sibling, but I don't care. I don't see them as a sibling, and I'm not planning to bond with them or keep them in my life once I'm in college. I won't speak to Dad either, just my siblings. Recently, Dad's wife has been pressing more for my help, and the other day, she asked me why I could be such a great big brother to my younger siblings, but I have never even held her baby or cooed over her baby. She told me she sees me do so much for my siblings, and knows I was the person who helped them through when mom was sick, and then when she died. She told me she figured I would want to be the same for her baby. I told her it wasn't my job to help, and to get her husband to help if she needed it. She told me she wanted her baby to be accepted, and none of us had accepted the baby yet. None of us had interacted with the baby yet. She said it's not fair, and she needs help. I told her I'm not her helper, and she needs to hire someone if she wants to help, or again, get Dad. But I won't be doing anything for her or her baby. She called me disgusting. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. If it were me, I would tell her all the nitty-gritty details of exactly why you had to be there for your siblings, so that she understands why you're not interested in your dad's new family. She knows the details. She has attempted to defend my dad in the past, even though he doesn't even try to better his relationship with me. Tell her you are sick of being parentified while your mom was dying and your dad was just interested in his next fling rather than caring for his kids. You want a life. She is fit and healthy. She should look after her own baby, or the dad should step up. Not the a-hole. If you live at home, try to spend time at library, etc. I work so I can get out ASAP. That's where I spend a lot of time when I'm not at school or checking in on my siblings. Please make sure that you're the only one that can access the money that you've been earning. I am. I don't even think he knows I have a job. She doesn't for sure.